Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Kodash. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Double honors to them and shalom to the prophets of that body and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon you and your households and the spirit of endurance as we approach the end. Okay, we're just going to touch a little bit on this so-called Christmas nonsense. Okay, now those of you that are old enough to remember what Christmas used to be, right? So I'm in my late 40s, so I remember as a child growing up in the 80s, Woolworths, we got pretty much a similar stores to you guys in the States. Because remember, this is the UK and America are kind of like brother and sister, right? So it's like kind of like the 51st state. And so, I remember Woolworths being packed with tinsel, Christmas trees, whole bunch of damn commercials on those analog TVs back in the day, those big box televisions. Christmas movies, one after the other, which you didn't have to pay for. Cartoons. Everyone's house is decorated. The front windows, tinsel, snowmen, Satan Claus or Santa Claus. That's an anagram in itself. Satan Claus, Santa Claus. Satan getting his claws into you. The red devil, the red suit representing Esau, Edom, right? Also alludes to the heathen so-called god of these heathens, Edomites, Odin, all right, who wore a red suit as well. A whole bunch of information out there. And it was a world full of mirth, and there was this real vibration of Christmassy and coziness, because we grew up in the UK, so we don't have like a summer climate here in the UK during December, right? So it's either going to be grey or drizzly, or it's going to be snowing, or it's just going to be like autumnish type weather, right? So that plus the coziness feel, plus the holidays, and plus, the movies and the drink and the food and all that kind of stuff, it came as a certain holiday that people used to look forward to. All right. Now, for me, and for quite a long time, I don't celebrate Christmas. Motherfuck it. Pardon my French there. But what I'm saying is that that feel or that vibration or that Christmassy feel is not there anymore. You know why? Because we are approaching the tail end of this captivity. This place is done. Evilness has had its time on this earth to reign. Now we are going to approach the time of righteousness in the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai. Obviously, it's not over yet. All right? It's not over yet. The micro C-hip needs to come out, as well as World War III needs to go down. All right? And a whole bunch of violence. Jacob's trouble. Right? On a very high scale. Okay? But we, Esau, paraphrasing the scripture, has called good things evil and evil things good. They disguised Saturnalia, right, a pagan satanic holiday, in the form of Christmas, saying that the Most High Son, His Majesty, who the world ignorantly calls Jebus, right? I'm not going to say that it's a J-E-S-U-S word, right? The ignorantly, saying that He was born on that day. Okay, when the Lord was born during the springtime, all right, when life springs forth, okay, when that positive vibration is in the air, that lovely smell of spring is in the air, that's when the Lord is born, when life springs forth, when it's, where it's vital for farming, for growth, for flowers, for life in general. It was that time when the Lord is born, okay, because that life springing forth is for the elect, okay, because the Lord gave His sacrifice Himself to give the life to the elect, to bring them back, all right. So that's when the Lord was born. His Majesty Yahweh Shai was a so-called black man, by the way. He ain't no honky cracker Edomite stringy hair, none of that shit. All right. Okay. Even though some of us Israelite foreigners and the Northern Kingdom tribes have straight hair, nothing wrong with straight hair, but we're saying that the Lord has woolly hair. Okay. So-called black man. All right. Read Revelations, verse 1 onwards. Yeah, 1 and 1 onwards. Okay. Um, when John was on the island of Patmos and he saw a revelation of the Lord. Okay. That gives you a description of the Lord. Okay. But back to this Christmas nonsense, the Lord was not born on the 25th. So what Esau Edom has done is, they hold the Bible in their hand. They never read it. They only go to John 3:16. They talk a worldly doctrine. They never go into the Levitical laws, the dietary laws. Okay. You'll have some Edomite wearing a suit, wearing a, a penis and balls around his neck, which is that tie. All right. Okay. Or tie around his neck, or a bow tie or whatever, with a clean shaven face, bald face, right? Effeminate, heathen, Edomite, 2 Ezra 6 verse 54. These heathens have been reputed as nothing. They're like spittle, these other nations. The Lord doesn't like them. But they're holding our book, right? Which they've remixed, certain versions of them. But the King James Version is the closest to the truth of the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay? And then they spew madness out of their mouth. About a prosperity doctrine, a love doctrine. You got to love, 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 love everybody. When the Lord hates, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. You got madness like that. Okay, and they're cooking all types of abomination in the church, pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, which is against the Levitical laws. So, and then Christmas, which is Saturnalia, they say the Lord was born that day. So basically, modern day Christianity is a Satanism in disguise. That's all it simply is. It's basically a wolf wearing a sheep's mask, literally. All right. Now, as we're approaching the end of this captivity, we're seeing the spirit of this world die. The mirth die. The spirit of Christmas die. The daughters of music being brought low. Music, entertainment, movies are all trash. Fashion is all trash. Those of us that were young men in our 20s and the 90s, we still pretty much dress the same way as we did back then. We buy any clothes today, it's going to be looking like the shit that we used to buy back 30 years ago, if you can find it. Obviously, there's more choice back in the day. Now you got to order everything online, which is the sign of the times, which is good because this place is out. It's out. Okay? Everything is finished. All right? And those Gen Zs ain't going to know too much unless their fathers that are probably my age would let them know what time it is. Okay? But for the most part, this whole world is in delusion, man. They just out there. They have no idea what's coming. All right? This place is done. Done, 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 done. All right. Let me just go to a scripture. I paraphrase the scripture there. They call good evil, evil good. They've flipped everything around. Okay. Isaiah 24:11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Mirth means excessive joy or laughter. So the excessive joy or laughter of the land is gone. There is no joy or laughter anymore. There is no optimism. Okay? There's none of that anymore. Okay? All that is over. All right? People are trying to watch movies and trying to, nothing wrong with watching entertainment movies. Shit, I even watch Home Alone now and again. It's an entertaining movie. It's just a movie. You just see it for what it is. It's a movie. But we ain't gonna do no fa la 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 la, do carol singing, all that bullshit. All right? That era is done. Last time I went carol singing, right, was probably 40, no, not 40 years, yeah. Probably about a good 38, 39 years ago when I was about probably like 9, 10 years old. All right? That's the last time I did that. Okay? We all did that kind of nonsense back in the day, man. Okay? This place is done. Okay? This evil world is coming to a close. Let's go to the scripture I said. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. All right, this is what Esau Edom been doing. All right, making light of the laws, the statutes, and commandments. They've basically made being Moism normal. All right, a man can be a Mo, a woman can be a Mo. A man can be a PDF file. You can, but Lord forbid if a man wants to live a righteous life, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, grow his beard out, you know, um, have multiple wives, right? And have 4 or 5 wives or whatever. Oh yeah, he's a sexist person. Oh, he's evil. Well, the Lord said you can do that. So basically, this whole world, right, especially Esau Edom, is anti-Hamashiach. They're against the Lord. They're against the law. They're against the righteousness. Okay, hence the reason why they turn everything upside down. They call good evil and evil good. All right. Okay. Uh-huh. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. All right. Let's go to 23. But every man in his own order, Hamashiach the first fruits, afterward they that are Hamashiach's at his coming. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. Okay. Verse 25. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. Verse 26, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Verse 27, for he hath put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under his, but when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. Okay. So we're going to come to a righteous rule soon, man. Okay. All these things are going to be put away. All these evil things. All right. Because the Lord declared the end from the beginning. All right. And there's a time for everything under the heavens. Okay. Let me get that scripture actually. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up. And a time to pluck up that which is planted. Okay? So the Lord is plucking up all the rituals, all the so-called unholy days of the society. The Lord is wrapping up, this kingdom as a whole. Okay? People don't have money to spend anymore. People don't have the disposable income. People are more depressed. People are more uh, burnt out, you know? And the music is, I mean, back in the day, 30 years ago, the music would, you'd listen to a track, New Jack Swing or whatever, or some soul or hip hop or R&B, whatever, right? And you'd be getting ready, come out of the shower, do your hair and everything, get yourself together, hit the cologne on, you know what I mean? Make sure your clothes are ironed and fresh, you know what I mean? Your shoes are polished up or whatever you're wearing, your Timbs are, buffed up or whatever, whether it's suede or leather, or your sneakers are cleaned up or whatever. You hit the streets while you're getting ready, you feel good about yourself, and the environment uh, exuded the music that was being played at the time on radio and everywhere. It just went part and parcel together, right? Like man and woman. Now, in this day and age, with the negativity and the time, because we're approaching the end, the music, exudes the same vibration as well. Where at the end is negative, robotic voices, AI, technology, soulless, no romance, no love. You know, the love of many is waxing cold. You know, the Lord is bringing a close to this kingdom, man. The Lord is closing this place. All right. Now let's go to. I'm gonna play this. This is one of my favorite rappers. Okay, underground artist called Locksmith. Israelite foreigner father who's a Persian, who looks like a Persian. You know, kind of looks like a Northern Kingdom Jake, but he's obviously Iranian Persian. And his father is an Israelite foreigner. Right? If the world saw him, they probably think that, oh, that's a Latino guy married to a so-called black woman. No, it's a Persian guy who's a Jake, and his wife is a so-called black woman. It's ultimately an Israelite couple, but his father looks like, say, an East Indian or a Iranian Persian type. He's basically an Elamite Israelite foreigner or Israelite foreigner, right? Because the way this guy spits, if you know who Locksmith is, there's no way this guy's a heathen. No effing way. This guy went to college, university, studied African American studies. He did all that shit. He's into knowing, he's into that sort of, Afrocentric Jake shit. That blackety black stuff. But, nevertheless, he's a Jake. And he's going to, spit a little truth on this Christmas stuff. And by the way, fair use. I'm not making no money out of this whatsoever. So, Brother Locksmith, I'm just going to play a little bit of some of the wise words that you're saying. All right, let's go.
Now let's talk about December 25th, a special time of year we spread cheer through gifts, Santa reindeer, mistletoe and lights, all secular hype with no connection to Christ. But when did it first start? And what is the whole plan? How did we go from Jesus to Frosty the Snowman? To understand, let's travel back on the scene to the 4th century Rome and the Emperor Constantine. Constantine worshipped the pagan god Mithra, whose birthday fell on the 25th of December. They celebrated with feasts and killed the beasts, had human sacrifices and orgies in the streets. They hated other faiths, turned church to mausoleums, fed Christians to lions and washed them to Colosseum. But Constantine was smart, he played his part, combined both religions controlling the Roman hearts. Mithra was the light god they based off Apollo. Apollo was the Greek god they based off of Horus. Horus was the sun god they merged with the son of God that all culminates on today, the winter solstice. Santa Claus, Saint Nick, as you suppose him, superimposed the Scandinavian god Odin. He had a long white beard and a red suit, rode a magical sleigh. Our children deserve. Now let's talk about December 25th, a special time of year we spread cheer through gifts. Let's talk about December 25th, a special time of year we spread cheer through gifts, Santa reindeer, mistletoes and lights, all secular hype with no connection to Christ. But when did it first start? And what is the whole plan? How did we go from Jesus to Frosty the Snowman? To understand, let's travel back on the scene to the 4th century Rome and the Emperor Constantine. Constantine worshipped the pagan god Mithra, whose birthday fell on the 25th of December. They celebrated with feasts and killed the beasts, had human sacrifices and orgies in the streets. They hated other faiths, turned church to mausoleums, fed Christians to lions and washed them to Colosseum. But Constantine was smart, he played his part, combined both religions controlling the Roman hearts. Mithra was the light god they based off Apollo. Apollo was the Greek god they based off of Horus. Horus was the sun god they merged with the son of God. All culminates on today, the winter solstice. Santa Claus, Saint Nick, as you suppose him, superimposed a Scandinavian god Odin. He had a long white beard and a red suit, rode a magical sleigh. Our children deserve. Now let's talk about December 25th, a special time.
There you go. Now, I'm just going to go to a few. I typed in, people are saying the Christmas spirit is dead. Let's see if I can get any other information on that. That's 2024. Let's see anything on 2025. Okay. Many people feel the Christmas spirit is declining, often citing overwhelming commercialism. Commercialism actually was more commercialism 40 years ago. It's not as much as it used to be, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I see it. Commercialism has always been there. Many people feel the Christmas spirit is declining, often citing overwhelming commercialism, economic stress, and a shift away from religious traditions as key causes. Esau never been religious, okay? And Christmas ain't nothing to do with no righteousness, all right? It's Satanism, it's orgies, it's being a mole. And these orgies also were man with man and woman with woman as well, all right? The feeling is frequently linked to exhaustion from daily pressures and social obligations, leading to a desire to simplify the reason. Now, some of these aspects are true, but the ultimate spiritual side is that the Lord is declared all things, okay? Or let me get the scripture out, man. I'll get out of my phone. Declared the end of all things from the beginning. Okay, everything has a time. Okay, even evil has a time and a limit. Evil is not going to be there forever. Isaiah 46 and 10. Isaiah 46 and 10, King James Version, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. Okay? So even evil has a time limit. The so-called white man is an embodiment of evil. Okay? Satan's physical counterpart on this planet Earth. Right? So their rulership has a stop button. Right? They've got bounds, paraphrasing scripture, they are bounds that they cannot pass. And that those bounds, also within those bounds, is evil and lies. Okay? Because these people, these heathens, and some of our people believe in the lies that Esau has been spewing. They actually believe that they're the Most High, that they're Yahweh, that they're the children of Israel, that they're the Persians, that they're the Greeks, they're the Assyrians. They think they're everybody. That's why they show their movies like that. And they actually believe that Christmas is something family orientated. Now they're even bringing out movies with Jack Black, where the child is writing right letter to Santa Claus, and he accidentally writes to Satan. They even let you know in these movies, these new movies, especially the last couple of Santa Claus type movies, it's always been violence and murder and evil. All that Miracle on 34th Street and what's that guy's name from Home Improvement? Tim the Toolman Taylor. You know who I'm talking about. If you guys watched Home Improvement in the early 90s and mid 90s, that guy. I forgot his name, man. Yeah, he made a couple of Santa Claus movies back in the day, about 20 plus years ago. Part 1 and 2. Is none of that no more. All right, but the truth is coming out. Okay, they're going to talk about people's stress. People always had stress. People always had economic pressures. All right, people always had mental fatigue, but it's amplified now because they spiritually know, the heathen, so-called white man, the heathens know there's no deep down that their kingdom is coming to an end, but they can't really pinpoint it. Only the elites know what time it is because they can pinpoint it because they know who they are, that they're Esau, Edom. All right, our people, you know, uh, wanna even if hell's breaking loose and things are going bad, Jake still want to party. Jake's gonna find a way to make things pop, right? Um, but we are at the end of this place, man. All right. Economic pressures. So basically, that demonic spirit of Christmas is dying. Let's go here. Saturnalia. Okay, that's what Christmas is, Saturnalia, all right? They say December the 17th and 23rd, but it goes to the 25th. The only reason they haven't put 25th here in AI overview is because they don't want it connected to blatantly to Christmas, because Christmas, they say, oh shit, Saturnalia is actually Christmas, man. Oh no. Oh, I'm not gonna touch that no more. So if you keep that away from the number 25 here, 17th to the, don't put the 25th there, then you say, oh, it doesn't say the 25th, so we're good. We can still celebrate Christmas. So ultimately, it's not going to affect the financial side for Esau Edom, because they still want to grab as much money as they can during the holiday season. All right. So Saturnalia was an ancient Roman festival honoring Saturn or Satan, celebrated from same timeline as Christmas. The 12 days of Christmas, but here's 17th to 23rd, but it is till the 25th, with feasts, gift giving, gambling, and carnival atmosphere. Okay. It featured reversal of social roles such as masters serving slaves. The raucous 7-day event influenced modern Christmas traditions, including gift giving and seasonal greeting. All right. They honor their god Saturn. What else? Partying, a joyous, chaotic atmosphere with public banquets and legalized gambling. All right. Greeting, the cry of Lo Saturnalia was used. Okay. They're not going to give you the complete deep breakdown. All right. Let's go to this part here. While modern during Saturnalia, do they have? Actually, I'll get rid of that. It's kind of nasty. I did type in during Saturnalia, do they have GAY orgies or orgies? I did type that in there because ultimately this is what they did, right? And we're trying to bring the truth to the matter. We're trying to bring the truth forward, right? While modern depictions often focus on wild aspects like orgies, historical sources indicate a period of general sexual license and the suspension of social norms that likely included diverse sexual activities, including both heterosexual and homosexual encounters. That's your Christmas for you, okay? Your Saturnalia, okay? So being a bundle of sticks, being a FAG, right, was the order of the day. That's your Christmas gift giving, and that tree. What does that allude to? Um, what was that? I forgot the Hamite's name. One second, let me just find out. Let me just read this first. Okay, the Christmas tree alludes to. Let me just get the information out, actually. Nimrod, that's it. Yeah. Now it popped in my mind. Yeah, there you go. Nimrod was Nimrod. Yeah, the Christmas tree comes from where I believe it was Nimrod that penetrated the ground or something, and from there, people believe a tree grew out of it, and something along the lines of giving gifts. Let me see, Nimrod. Obviously, there's a clean version of it. According to some interpretations of the pagan origin myths, Semiramis claimed an evergreen tree, which is a Christmas tree, claimed an evergreen tree. Oh, where the hell is it gone now? Oh, yeah. According to some interpretations of pagan origin myths, Semiramis claimed an evergreen tree grew overnight from a dead stump, symbolizing the rebirth of her murdered husband, Nimrod. Okay, I think some also believe that he penetrated the ground and a tree grew out of it or something like that. Okay, but that's deep information that our elders have brought out. But this is like a cleaner version of that story. Okay, symbolizing the rebirth of her murdered husband Nimrod. On his birthday, December the 25th, it was believed he returned to visit the tree, creating the tradition of leaving gifts. Okay. Connection to idolatry. This legend is often linked to the Babylonian mother and child worship, where Nimrod is seen as a false messiah or Baal, which is basically Satan. Okay. Who was Nimrod? Nimrod is a biblical figure mentioned in the book of Genesis and the books of Chronicles, the son of Cush, and thus the great grandson of Noah. Nimrod was described as the king in the land of Shinar. The Bible states that he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wait a minute. Is this it? Okay, so Nimrod was a biblical mighty hunter and kingdom founder, Babel and Shinar, while Semiramis was a legendary Assyrian queen. In popular traditions, they are linked as husband and wife or mother and son, who supposedly established ancient Babylonian idolatry and cultic practices. I mean, that's what these heathens Edomites do today. Even the so-called royal family, mothers and sons, brothers and sisters, they keep their relationships close. And that's obviously against the Bible. So they do everything adverse to the Bible, calling good evil, evil good, bringing that scripture up again, right? Paraphrasing that again. Because in the Bible, you're not supposed to deal with your sister or see her nakedness or your mother's nakedness or your father's sister's nakedness. You can't do that. That's illegal pursuant to the scriptures. But according to the satanic ways of this world, Nimrod and Semiramis, were apparently husband and wife, but also, they were more than likely mother and son, and they deal with each other like that on that sort of level. And he was a Hamite. Nimrod was a Hamite. Okay. Yeah. Semiramis and Nimrod's incestuous male offspring was the Akkadian deity Tammuz. Okay. Was he a kid? Yeah. All right. Where the heck was it highlighted? Oh, here we go. Hislop asserted that Semiramis was a queen consort and the mother of Nimrod, builder of the Bible's Tower of Babel, Babel confusion. He claimed that Semiramis and Nimrod's incestuous male offspring was the Akkadian deity Tammuz, and that all divine pairings in religions were retellings of this story. Well, it's just Satanism. That's all it simply is. It's disgusting. All right. And this is what you people celebrate with your wacky tacky modern Christianity. And your modern day Christianity is simply Satanism in disguise. That's all it simply is. Let's go to Jeremiah 10, verse 1. which tells you even about the damn Christmas tree, not to put it in your yard, not to set that shit up, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 10, verse 1. Let's get the whole chapter up. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. This is Jeremiah chapter 10. All right? So you can't say that, or you didn't know that celebrating Christmas is not in the Bible. And you're not supposed to celebrate birthdays, and you're not supposed to put up Christmas trees. Okay? So basically, you guys are just, you're just basically practicing Satanists. That's all you people are. All right? Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshai, O Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Absolutely. Verse 7. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations and in all their kingdoms there is none like unto thee. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. This is all vanity. Doesn't mean a damn thing, man. All these demonic holidays. Where are we? Verse 9. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Euphaz, the work of the workman and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. Where is the part where it talks about the tree? 1 second. Did I just... I just read it. I didn't read it. Here's the kicker. Verse 4. All right, let's go to verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth the tree out of the forest, and out of the forest the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Old school Christmas trees. Deck the halls with la la la. Remember that song? Deck the halls? There's even a movie called Deck the Halls. All right? With, what's that Jake's name, man? That little one? That short Jake from the movie Twins. The one opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm talking about. Right? Deck the halls. All right? Christmas tree, silver and gold. Okay? And what did the Lord say? Learn not the way of the heathen. Then it went to the Christmas tree part. All right? Where was I? But the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai is a true power. He is a living power and an everlasting king. At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. Okay, verse 11. Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. The Lord's going to destroy everything. All right. That's why you're even seeing these Statue of Liberties and all this other shit fall. Even in Venezuela. Wait till America, the ones in America fall. Wait till that massive Jeebus statue in Venezuela falls as well. I think it's in Venezuela, right? Verse 12. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom. and hath stretched out the heavens by his discretion. Okay. Couple more verses. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Verse 14. Every man is brutish in his knowledge. Every founder is confounded. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. All idol worship, okay? Verse 15. They are vanity and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. Okay? They shall perish. Let's read verse 16. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the form of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai of hosts is his name. All right? Yahweh Hashem Yashai. All right? So all this work from 1 to 15, it's all vanity, man. That Christmas tree shit, that alludes to Nimrod, Saturnalia. Okay, so Christmas is not a righteous holiday. Okay, granted, we're in hell, we're in captivity. We Jakes get, a few days off, or if you've got holidays saved up but you haven't utilized all year, you can't even get a fortnight off. Sleep in a little, get a little break. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, have a few beers, nothing wrong with that. We ain't gonna celebrate this bullshit though. All right, we ain't gonna do no fa la 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 and all that shit. You might go out and about, buy a few things, because we've got to live in this world, but we're not going to get involved or engrossed in this bullshit of Christmas, man, because it's nonsense. All right, it's all Satanism. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there now. All praises, honor, glory, and blessings and power be to Abba Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, Mawatha Bad Baba, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.